The arrival of the alien warrior. She came to conquer Earth, but met someone stronger. The stars were quiet, but something moved in the dark sky just outside Earth's orbit. A giant alien warship slowly entered the solar system. It was shaped like a blade, sharp and dark, almost invisible to human eyes. Inside the ship stood a tall warrior in silver-black armor. Her name was Vale. She was not like others. She was part of the Renari, an alien race known for war, honor, and strength. Since childhood, she was trained to fight, not feel. Emotions were weakness. Victory was everything. This mission was simple: land on Earth, find the human commander known as Captain Rain Carter, and eliminate him. Rain was famous in the galaxy. He had stopped many alien attacks before. Vale was chosen because she was the best, and she never failed. As the warship reached Earth's orbit, Vale stood in silence. Her golden eyes stared at the blue planet. She felt nothing, no fear, no excitement, just focus. She would land quietly with her team, complete the mission, and return in glory. Prepare drop pods, she ordered. Moments later, 6 burning lights fell from the sky. They landed deep in a desert, far from cities and satellites. Sand exploded around them. Vale stepped out, tall and calm, her armor shining under the sun. Behind her, 5 elite Renari soldiers followed. They moved like ghosts across the sand. Fast and quiet, Vale scanned the area with her helmet. A signal blinked. Life forms ahead. Human soldiers. They were close, but something was wrong. A sudden explosion hit the ground near them. One Renari soldier screamed and vanished in fire, then another. Human forces had set a trap. They knew we were coming, Vale said coldly. Retreat? One soldier asked. No, we fight. The battle was fast and brutal. Human weapons were strong, but the Renari were stronger. Vale cut through enemies like fire through paper. She was a storm, unstoppable. But humans had numbers, and one by one, her team fell. Only Vale remained, and then he appeared, a tall man. In dark combat gear, stepped into the open. He didn't hide, he didn't shoot. He just walked toward her. Captain Rain Carter. He looked at her with calm eyes, full of focus. No fear, no hate, just readiness. Vale raised her blade. I was sent to kill you, she said in a flat voice. Rain said nothing. He dropped his rifle, pulled out a short steel rod, then it snapped into a long combat staff. A challenge, Vale smiled. Good. They rushed at each other. The fight was like thunder. Metal clashed, sand flew, sparks lit the air. Vale was fast, powerful, trained in thousands of battle forms, but Rain matched her step by step. He was human, but not ordinary. His moves were sharp. His mind was steady. Minutes passed like seconds. Vale felt her arm weaken. A sharp strike hit her leg. She dropped to one knee. She tried to rise, but Rain's staff touched her neck. He had won. She stared at him, waiting for death, but he stepped back. You can walk, he said, or I can carry you. Vale blinked, confused. You spare me? I don't kill a worthy fighter who's already beaten, he said. Silence. In her culture, this was impossible. Mercy was weakness. Enemies were not spared, but something about this man, his honor, his calm, it felt different. She stood slowly, her voice quiet. Then I am yours. What? I was defeated in battle. I swear loyalty to the one who beat me. It is the law of my people. Rain looked at her, surprised. You'd really follow me? She nodded once. You earned it. More human soldiers arrived. They aimed their weapons at her. She didn't move. Stand down, Rain said. They lowered their guns. Vale stood beside him, tall and silent, like a shadow. No one spoke for a moment. A soldier whispered, "What now, Captain?" Rain looked up at the sky. The war wasn't over, but something had changed. We bring her in, he said. She's with us now. As the sun began to set behind them, the wind carried the scent of fire and metal. The battle was done, but the real story was just beginning. Because an alien warrior had come to destroy a human and instead had sworn to follow him. And that decision would change everything. A warrior's oath. The alien swore loyalty to the human she couldn't defeat. The desert wind was still. Smoke curled into the sky. Broken machines and scorched ground were all that remained of the battle. But in the middle of it all stood two figures, one human, one alien, Captain Rain Carter, Earth's best soldier. Commander Vale, elite warrior of the Renari Empire. An hour ago, they were enemies. Now they walked together, not as friends, but something stranger. Rain led her toward a black military transport. His soldiers stared in silence. Their faces showed fear and confusion. She's an enemy, one whispered. Not anymore, Rain said. She surrendered. She swore loyalty, he added quietly, more to himself than anyone else. But even he wasn't sure what that truly meant. Inside the high-security base buried beneath the mountains, alarms went off as Vale entered security. Bots locked onto her. Drones followed her every step. Soldiers watched from behind armored glass. Weapons loaded, Vale didn't flinch. She walked calmly beside Rain, unarmed, proud, even with blood still on her armor. The humans didn't scare her. She could feel their fear, smell it almost, but she didn't react. She had already made her choice. Rain led her to a sealed interrogation room as the door shut. The lights dimmed. He sat across from her, resting. His elbows on the table. He looked tired, more than she expected. "You said you're mine now," he began, his voice low. "Explain." Vale looked at him without blinking. "You defeated me, in my people's code. That means I am yours to command, until death." Rain narrowed his eyes. "What if I tell you to leave?" "I won't." "What if I order you to betray your own kind?" Pause. "Then, I will obey." Rain leaned back. He didn't like it. It didn't feel right. He didn't want a servant. He didn't want loyalty built from shame. He wanted to know why she surrendered when she could have fought to the death. "You could have killed me," he said. "You hesitated. So did you," she answered. Silence. Then she spoke again, softer, slower. "I have killed many enemies before, but you fought without anger, without fear. You could have ended me, but you showed mercy. That is power my people don't understand." Later that night, Rain sat alone in his quarters. The war had been going for months. Earth had pushed back wave after wave of alien attacks. But this was different. He looked through Vel's armor files. Her record showed over 100 confirmed kills. Dozens of victories, medals, honors, a born killer. So why did she sit silently in her cell now, eyes closed like she was at peace? The next day, Vale was moved under heavy guard to a special wing of the base. Some humans wanted her studied, others wanted her locked up, a few wanted her executed. Rain had to fight to keep her alive. "She's not just an alien," he told the council. "She's a high-ranking soldier. If she's truly loyal, she could be the key to ending this war. And if she's lying?" one general asked. "Then I'll end her myself," Rain said coldly. Time passed. Days turned into a week. Rain began training with Vale, not to teach her, but to study her. They sparred in silence. No words, only movement. She was faster than any human, stronger, smarter in combat, but she never struck to kill. Each session ended the same. Rain on the ground, panting, Vale standing over him, waiting. And then helping him up. "You're improving," she'd say. He never knew if she meant it, or if she was just trying to understand him better. One night, Rain found her outside on the base roof, staring at the stars. No guards, no weapons, just her and the sky. He joined her quietly. "You miss your home?" he asked. She shook her head. "No, home was a place of control. We were trained to obey, not think." He nodded. "You ever question it?" "I did," she said. "Once, a long time ago." She didn't say more. He didn't push. But something was changing in her. He could feel it. She moved differently, slower, softer. She spoke more often, asked questions about humans, about emotions, about choice. Rain wasn't sure what scared him more, that she might be lying, or that she might be telling the truth. Then something strange happened. A signal arrived from deep space, coded, but traced to a Renari battleship. It was short: Commander Vale, status unknown. New orders: kill the human and return. She received it silently, didn't tell anyone. But Rain saw her expression change when she read the message. He confronted her in the training room. "Something's wrong," he said. Vale looked at him, calm, but her voice was heavy. "My people have sent new orders," she said. "They want me to kill you." Rain reached for his weapon. "And I ignored them," she said simply. "You expect me to believe that?" She stepped forward slowly. "You think I would spend days fighting beside you, learning from you, just to end your life now?" He didn't lower his weapon. "I don't know what I believe," he said. Val stepped even closer. Close enough that her voice dropped to a whisper. "Then let me prove it." She opened her hand and dropped a small data chip on the floor. "What's that?" he asked. "Proof," she said. "A secret my people kept. The war started because of a lie. Your people never attacked first. We did, on purpose, to test you." Rain stared at the chip, then at her. "Why tell me this?" "Because I don't want to serve lies anymore." That night, Rain watched the file on the chip. What he saw made his blood run cold. The Renari had started the war, not out of fear, but curiosity. They wanted to see if humans could fight, if they were worthy enemies. And now, because they had found one, they wanted to destroy him. Captain Rain Carter. Hidden truths: the alien is hiding a secret about the war. The cold metal walls of the military base hummed with tension. Captain Rain Carter hadn't slept in days. Not since he watched the data file. The file Vale had given him. The truth behind the war. It showed classified transmissions from the Renari High Command, planning attacks on Earth long before humans even knew aliens existed. It wasn't a war of defense. It was a test, a game, and humanity had been the target. Now, Rain walked alone through the dark corridor toward the cell where Vale was being held. Two guards stood outside, rifles ready. "She hasn't moved." One Said, hasn't spoken. Rain nodded and entered. Vale sat on the floor, not chained, not locked. Just still, like a statue. Her golden eyes opened the moment Rain stepped in. I saw it, he said. She said nothing. You were right. Your people started it. Still silent. Rain leaned against the wall, crossing his arms. Why didn't you tell me sooner? Vale looked up at him, voice quiet. Would you have listened? Rain thought for a moment. No, he admitted. That silence between them grew heavier. I believed in my duty, Vale said finally, until I saw your people. How you fight not for conquest, but for survival, for each other. You didn't believe that before. She shook her head. We were taught that humans were animals, uncontrolled, violent, but you have something even we don't. What's that? She looked him in the eyes. Choice. Later that day, General Sloan arrived from Earth's command center. He was sharp, old, and full of suspicion. He didn't trust aliens, especially not ones who used to kill humans for sport. She's feeding you lies, Sloan said to Rain. It's a trap, psychological warfare. No, Rain said. She risked her life to bring us that data. Or maybe she's distracting you. While her people prepare the final strike, Rain walked away without answering. But the seed of doubt had been planted that night. Rain watched security footage from the battle in the desert, frame by frame. He wanted to see if there was any moment Vale faked it, any glance, any clue, but there was none. Her surrender had been real. Her loyalty was real. But then something new appeared on the footage. A short blink from her armor's interface, a signal not sent to her. Sent from her. The moment she was captured, Rain's heart froze. Had she sent a location ping to her people? He went to her cell immediately, this time with anger. You sent a signal. Vale didn't react. Yes. You told me you were loyal. I am. Then why did you send your location? She stood slowly. Because I knew they would come. Whether I called them or not. Then what was the point? To face them myself. Rain stared at her. You want to stop them? She nodded. But I can't do it alone. 3 days later, an alien scout ship entered Earth's orbit. Cloaked, silent, watching, Vale felt it before anyone else. She was training alone in the base's underground chamber when she suddenly stopped mid-motion. Her hand touched the floor. They're here, she whispered. At that same moment, a young human soldier was scanning the radar in the control room. Sir, he called out. I've got something weird. It's hovering, not attacking. Rain rushed in. He looked at the blurry signal. It was circling the base. They're watching us, Rain said, maybe preparing to strike. Or maybe waiting for her. That night, Vale came to Rain's quarters. I need to leave, she said. No. If I go to them, maybe I can delay the attack, or stop it completely. They'll kill you, maybe, she said, or maybe they'll listen. Rain clenched his jaw. Or maybe this is the real plan. Vale stepped forward, eyes burning. Every time I've lied, I told you. Every time I doubted, I showed you. I have no more reasons to deceive you, only one reason to act. What? She looked into his eyes. Because Earth deserves to survive. Against every order from command, Rain let her go. She stepped into a modified human scout ship, alone, wearing a hybrid armor, part Renari, part Earth tech. A symbol of what she was becoming, not Renari, not human. Something in between. The ship lifted silently into the sky. 2 hours later, Rain received a private transmission from her ship. He answered. Her face appeared on the screen, calm, even as red warning lights flashed behind her. They didn't listen, she said. They declared me a traitor. What do you need? There's one way to stop the invasion fleet. Tell me. I need to give you access to their navigation codes, but I can't transmit them. You have to take them from the source, the mothership. She nodded. You won't get a second chance. Rain said. Neither will Earth. He gathered a secret strike team, 6 of the best, armed with cloaking suits and alien-compatible tech. Command didn't approve. It didn't matter. Vale sent her last message, a landing path onto the alien command vessel, hidden on the dark side of the moon. Rain looked at her image one more time before boarding the stealth transport. If I don't come back, you will, Vale said. Because you're human, and humans don't break. Meanwhile, back on Earth, General Sloan reviewed the intercepted footage. He paused the screen where Vale looked into Rain's eyes. He didn't trust her. Not yet, but even he could see it. She wasn't lying. She was changing. And if that scared the Renari, it should terrify the rest of the galaxy. Betrayal or loyalty? She made a choice, but is it truly hers? Asterisk. The stars looked calm, but war was moving in their shadows. The Renari mothership had entered Earth's outer orbit, cloaked from satellites and radar. It didn't attack. It waited like a hunter in the dark. Inside the mothership, Commander Vale stood alone in a cold steel chamber. A ring of alien officers surrounded her, weapons ready. Their faces were not angry, they were disappointed. That was worse. You swore loyalty to a human, one officer said. You broke your blood oath. Vale didn't speak. You betrayed your own kind. Still silence. You will answer, the voice snapped. Do you serve the enemy? She finally raised her eyes. No. I serve truth. Back on Earth, Captain Rain Carter sat in the command center watching multiple screens. His team was ready to launch a covert mission to the mothership, to steal its navigation codes and prevent an invasion, but something else was eating at him. Doubt. Vale had promised him everything, her loyalty, the data, the truth, but now she was on the enemy ship, surrounded by her people again. Was she still his ally? Or had she returned to who she really was? General Sloan leaned against the wall behind him. You trust her too much, he said. I trust what I saw in her, Rain replied. She's a killer. You saw that too. Rain didn't answer because, deep inside, even he wasn't sure anymore. In orbit, things were falling apart. Vale had tried to reason with the Renari High Council. She had shown them Earth's strength. She had begged them to stop the war before it became genocide. They didn't listen. You were one of our finest, said High Commander Krez. But your time among humans has poisoned your mind. Vale's voice was calm but strong. No. It opened it. You disappoint us, Krez growled. He gave a simple order, strip her of rank. Place her in holding, prepare the fleet. That night, locked in a Renari prison chamber, Vale stared at the ceiling. The walls pulsed with red light. A countdown to invasion had begun. She had failed. She was no longer Renari, not fully, but she was not human either, not truly. She was nothing until a voice echoed through her cell. A whisper, Commander Vale. Are you awake? She sat up sharply. A figure stepped from the shadows, Renari, but different. His armor bore no rank, a traitor like her. I am Kale, rebel. You are not alone anymore on Earth. Rain prepared to launch the mission without her. He couldn't wait any longer. The stealth craft lifted off from the mountain base at midnight, carrying 6 elite soldiers and 1 haunted man. Rain wasn't just fighting aliens anymore. He was fighting his own heart. Inside the mothership, chaos had begun. Kale the rebel led Vale through dark maintenance corridors. His network of outcasts had long planned to take down the High Command, but they needed someone with access, someone like her. Together, they moved toward the core vault, where the fleet control codes were stored. I don't trust you, Kale said. I wouldn't either. Vale replied, but I believe your war is over. I hope you're right, she said. Suddenly, the corridor shook. Sirens screamed. An intrusion alert. Rain had arrived. The human strike team landed deep inside the ship, using cloaking fields and stolen codes from Vale. They moved fast, clean, professional. Their goal, extract the codes, escape, save Earth. But as they moved, something unexpected happened. The corridors were mostly empty. No guards, no patrols. Only silence. Rain's gut tightened. This is too easy. Then came the sound of metal slamming shut. Lights flickered. They were trapped. Vale heard the lockdown from the lower decks. They're inside, she told Kale. We have to help them. Kale hesitated. If we're caught helping humans, we'll die anyway, she said. Better we die doing something right. Rain's team was pinned near the vault chamber. Alien forces moved in from both sides. Firefights lit the steel corridors. Soldiers were hit. The mission was failing. Then came a shock. Vale appeared, flanked by rebel Renari. She stepped into the firestorm without fear. Rain aimed his weapon. I knew you'd come back, she said, eyes meeting his. Prove you're on our side, he said coldly. She turned and shot 2 enemy soldiers before they reached Rain. That enough, she asked. With her help, they reached the core vault. Inside was a glowing sphere, protected by alien code and kinetic force fields. Vale walked up to it. The Renari symbols flashed under her hand. The system scanned her retina. Accepted. The vault opened. She handed the data core to Rain. This is it, she said. You have maybe 1 hour before they trace the download. Rain stared at her. You risked everything. I already lost everything, she replied. He paused. Then stay with us. Come to Earth. I will, she said. But first, I need to finish something. She turned to Kale. We end this war today. Rain and his team escaped the mothership using emergency pods. As they descended toward Earth's atmosphere, he clutched the data core in his hands. The invasion would be delayed, maybe even stopped, but Vale's face burned in his mind. She had chosen his side, or had she? Hours later, back on Earth, the command room celebrated. We did it, one soldier said. We stopped the attack, another added. But Rain stood at the window alone, because in the dark sky above, the mothership had gone silent. Not destroyed. Not retreating. Just waiting. Meanwhile, Vale stood before the Renari High Commander's chamber alone. The rebels had scattered. Only she remained. She had a blade in one hand and a decision to make. She returns with an army, but whose side is she on? The sky burns, and no one knows where her loyalty now lies. Asterisk. The stars above Earth shifted. A tremble ran through the void. Sensors on every satellite lit up red. Every warning system screamed the same signal. The Renari fleet had arrived. Dozens of alien ships, sleek black, dagger-shaped, emerged from behind the moon, forming a perfect line across the sky. No message, no signal, just presence. Waiting. Watching. Earth went on high alert. Anti-orbit cannons powered up, sky shields flickered to life. Fighter squadrons scrambled from air bases. Humanity had seen this before, but never on the scale. And leading that fleet was Commander Vel's ship inside the Earth Command Center. Tension was a blade pressed to every throat. General Sloan stood at the center table. His jaw clenched. She's leading them, he growled. She betrayed us. She said she wouldn't, Captain Rain Carter answered, staring at the monitor. Then look at the damn screen. Captain, her ship is front and center. Rain didn't blink. He had no proof she was still loyal, no contact, no message. Only silence and the chilling image of her ship floating ahead of Earth like a shadowed knife. She made a choice, Rain whispered, but maybe the war made another one for her in orbit. Inside the dark command room of her personal ship, Vale stood alone, armor gleaming like obsidian. The rest of the Renari fleet waited for her signal behind her. A message blinked in red, final confirmation, initiate planetary strike. YNSHE didn't touch it. Her crew, Renari soldiers loyal to her after the inner rebellion, watched from a distance. They had followed her into exile not because of orders, but because something in her had changed. And they had seen it. Commander, her second-in-command said, Earth is ready to fight. Shall we begin? Vel's golden eyes narrowed as she looked down at the blue planet below. I need to speak to someone first. A signal pierced Earth's defense net, private, encrypted. To one man, Rain stood alone in a dark room when his communicator lit up. A voice he hadn't heard in days spoke, I'm not here to destroy you. I need you to believe that. It was her. He didn't speak, just listened. I did what I had to. The high command is gone, but the rest of the fleet, they don't trust peace. They still believe war is glory. They will obey me, for now, but I need Earth to act carefully. Carefully, Rain finally replied, You're leading a fleet above our cities. I had no choice. If I didn't lead them, someone else would, and Earth would already be burning, on the ground. Panic spread, civilian bunkers filled. Emergency sirens echoed across cities, children cried, soldiers gripped rifles. Pilots waited in cockpits, sweat on their foreheads. The world had never felt so close to its end. Rain took the recording of Vel's voice to the command council. He played it. She's trying to prevent a war, he said, or she's trying to make us drop our guard. Sloan said coldly, and when we do, boom, end of the species, we have to give her a chance. Rain argued, she's the only one keeping those ships from opening fire. Sloan slammed his fist. If she moves one ship toward the surface, we launch everything in orbit. Vale felt the pressure building. She had bought Earth time, but not much. Her soldiers waited for the order, but not all of them were truly loyal. Some still whispered in corners, some still wore the old ways under their armor. She knew rebellion could rise again, on either side. Time was running out. She made a decision. Prepare dropship, she said. Her second-in-command stared at her. You're going down there, yes, they'll kill you the moment you land, maybe, she said. But I'd rather die for peace than lead another war on Earth. Radar screens lit up with a single alert, one Renari ship descending. Smaller, unarmed, a shuttle, heading straight toward Earth, toward Rain's base. She's coming. Rain whispered. General Sloan raised a hand. Shoot it down. No. Rain stepped forward. She's coming to speak, alone. How do you know? Because she's not a coward, Rain said. And because I know her. After a long pause, Sloan gave the order, let it land. But if anything moves behind it, blow the sky apart. The shuttle landed in the open desert. Surrounded by armored tanks and auto turrets, Vale stepped out. Alone. No weapon. No helmet. She looked at the soldiers, felt their eyes, their hate, their fear. But she didn't stop. Rain was waiting at the edge of the security line. He walked forward slowly. They met under a gray sky, winds blowing sand between them. You shouldn't have come alone, he said. You told me once, humans don't break, she said. They stood in silence for a moment. Then she reached into her armor and handed him a chip. What is it? He asked. The command override. Control of the fleet. I'm giving it to Earth. Rain looked at her in disbelief. You're surrendering your army? I'm offering peace, she corrected, if you still believe in me. But peace never comes easy. Above them, a rogue Renari ship broke formation. It turned and powered its main cannon. From the Earth base, alarms screamed. They're charging weapons, not Vel's ship, one of the others. General Sloan gave the command, fire all batteries. Take the whole fleet down if you must. No, Rain yelled. We have control now, but the sky lit up, missiles launched, beams tore through clouds. The Renari fleet opened fire, not at Earth, but at the rogue ship. Vel's crew had seen it coming. They stopped their own. No attack reached the ground. Only silence remained. Later, under dusk light, Rain and Vale stood together outside the base. You gave us the fleet, Rain said quietly. No, Vale replied. I gave you a future. He looked at her. And what about you? She didn't answer at first. Then softly, I don't know who I am anymore, not fully Renari, not human either. But maybe I'm something new, he nodded, maybe we all are above them. The Renari ship stayed in formation, but this time not as a threat. As guardians. Asterisk memory of war. Heart of peace she fought for us, now we must fight for her. Asterisk the earth was safe. For now, the Renari fleet, once symbols of fear, now floated above the planet in silent orbit. Controlled by a single code Vale had given to Captain Rain Carter. Humanity had won not by force, but through trust. But peace, as always, came at a price. It began 3 days later. A Renari vessel, one of the older war-class destroyers, broke away from the fleet. It ignored all commands from Vale's override signal. It moved fast, cloaked, and disappeared behind the dark side of the moon within hours. Vale was gone, her shuttle was found abandoned, no sign of a struggle, no blood. Just her broken communicator and a single Renari blade stabbed into the ground beside it. Inside Earth Command, chaos returned. She's been taken, Rain said. Staring at the satellite footage, or she left willingly, General Sloan snapped. Maybe her performance was a long con. She gave us the fleet, earned our trust, then vanished. No, Rain said, she wouldn't walk away like this. Sloan leaned forward. You think she's worth saving? Rain didn't answer with words. He walked out of the room and began suiting up. The rescue mission was not approved. Rain went dark. No orders, no backup, no reports. Just him and one stolen Renari scout ship. He followed the trail Vale's captors left, small radiation shifts, encrypted pulses. Faint propulsion echoes. The path led him beyond the moon, deep into the asteroid fields that surrounded Saturn's outer orbit. And there, hidden among the rocks, he found it, a forgotten Renari dreadnought, dead in records. Believed destroyed in the early years of the war, now reborn as a prison. Inside that floating grave, Vale hung suspended in a gravity field, stripped of her armor, her body bruised, but her mind intact. Her captors were not Renari soldiers, they were exiled fanatics, the remnant. They followed the old code, glory, power, conquest. They saw her surrender as betrayal, her peace offering as weakness. You were our finest, the warden sneered. And you bowed to a human. Vale stared back with cold defiance. I rose. Above you, the warden struck her hard. You don't belong to them, he growled. I don't belong to anyone, she said, and that was what frightened them most. Rain docked in silence. Using codes Vale had once shown him during training. Every step through the dreadnought was tense. Old banners still hung on the walls. The smell of war was heavy, oil, rust, blood. He moved like a ghost, silent, focused. And in his mind, a single thought repeated, she came back for us, now it's my turn. Inside her cell, Vale's strength began to fade, the gravity field crushed her bones. The beatings had slowed, not out of mercy, out of boredom. They believed she would break on her own, but she didn't. Instead, she remembered. She remembered Earth. The sun, children running through the training camp near the base, a human medic who gave her water without fear, Rain's voice when he said, I know you. And that thought became her shield. Rain found her. He killed 3 remnant guards on the way, silent, precise. When he reached the control panel outside her cell, he froze. She was barely conscious. Eyes closed, body hanging. Vale, he whispered. Her eyes fluttered open. For the first time in days, maybe weeks, she smiled. You came. Of course I came, I told you, she coughed. Humans don't break, neither did she. He shut down the gravity field and caught her in his arms as she fell. You look terrible, he said. She gave a weak laugh. You smell worse. He carried her through fire. Alarms screamed. The remnant had found them. Heavy footsteps echoed through the dreadnought. Lights flickered. Pressure doors sealed behind them. Rain placed Vale behind cover and handed her a pulse pistol. You still remember how to shoot? She smiled. Let's find out. Together, they held the line, soldier and alien, back to back. On Earth, Sloan received a message from deep space, unencrypted. It was a single video, Rain and Vale standing side by side inside a burning enemy ship, both injured, both alive. Sloan turned to his officers. Looks like she didn't betray us after all. Rain and Vale escaped in a stolen escape pod as the dreadnought exploded behind them. Fire consumed the remnant. The past, the lies, the war culture gone in a final burst of light. They returned to Earth not as enemies, not even as soldiers, but as symbols of something new. For the first time, Vale stood before the United Human Council. Cameras rolled. News streams broadcast her voice across the world. I am Renari by birth, she said. But Earth gave me something my own kind never did. Forgiveness. She paused. And now, I choose to stand with humans. Not as a weapon, not as a commander, but as an ally later. Alone on a quiet hill overlooking the ocean, Vale sat beside Rain. They watched the stars where she once came from. And where he had nearly died. You risked your life for me. She said, I owed you that. No, she said, you chose that, just like I chose you. Rain turned to her. So what now? She didn't smile. She just said, we rebuild the galaxy. One choice at a time, the last stand together. They'll end the war. Peace is a fragile thing for weeks. Earth and the remaining Renari forces stood in uneasy balance. No battles, no threats, no attacks. But peace never survives long in a galaxy shaped by war. From deep beyond known space, a final enemy awoke, the true Renari High Council. The ones Vale once served, long believed to be destroyed during the civil uprisings, had returned, and they were not coming to talk, they were coming to erase. A coded transmission reached Earth Command. A hologram flickered into existence in front of the council chamber. Tall, hooded, cold, we watched. From the dark, the voice said, we saw what your traitor did, we saw your world, weak, full of feeling, you are not allies. You are an infection, and we are the cure. Behind the figure, a colossal shape loomed, not a ship, but a weapon, a planet killer, the Renari. Name for it was Soul's End, a dark matter super weapon, built to shatter planets in one strike. And it was already en route to Earth. In the base hangar, Captain Rain Carter stood next to Vale. She wore a new kind of armor, part Renari tech, part human design, lightweight, efficient, symbolic. I warned you, she said. There were parts of my people even I couldn't see. Can we stop them? Rain asked. Only if we go to the source, that ship Soul's End. It's not just a weapon, it's a command center. He nodded. Then we take it from inside. General Sloan approached, silent for once. He handed Rain a small case, Earth's last experimental device, Project Helix, a compact AI-enhanced virus. Designed to override alien tech from the inside. You only get one shot, Sloan said. If you fail, Earth becomes a memory. Rain, Vale, and a small joint task force of elite soldiers and rebel Renari launched in stealth. Their ship dove into the void, fast, silent, low on fuel. They had one goal, board Soul's End. Plant the helix, destroy it from within, but deep inside, Rain knew something else. Not everyone would return. Soul's End was monstrous. Larger than Earth's moon. Covered in rotating weapon systems, ion cannons, gravity mines, inside, layers of walls, drones. And guards protected the core. No living being had ever stepped inside without dying. But no living being had ever been like Val. She walked through her old home like a ghost returned from the dead. They built this during the First War. She whispered, but I thought they never finished it. They finished it, Rain said. And now they want to end us with it. The infiltration was fast and brutal. Vale and Rain led the charge, supported by both human and rebel Renari squads. Together, they carved a path through the ship's lower decks, fighting off security drones, trap corridors, and enemy squads. But every minute brought them closer to the core and to something else. Vale hadn't yet revealed, a secret, a truth, one even Rain didn't know. Finally, they reached the engine heart, a massive chamber filled with glowing conduits and dark matter reactors. Rain pulled out the Helix device and moved toward the control node. That's when it happened. A voice echoed through the chamber. Cold, familiar, you thought we were gone. The High Council. A massive projection of 5 Renari leaders appeared above them, their minds bound into the ship's core itself. You thought peace was victory, the voice boomed. But peace is decay. Rain turned to Vale. What is this? She didn't speak. The council continued. She was always ours. She just forgot. Suddenly, Vale screamed. Her armor lit up, her body trembled. Something inside her, a failsafe, had activated. Rain grabbed her shoulders. Vale, stay with me. She fell to her knees, gasping. They locked a command code in me, she said through gritted teeth. If I ever stood against them, they could take my body back. Her eyes flickered, her voice warped. I'm sorry, Rain. But Rain wasn't done. He dropped the helix and pulled a neural spike from his belt, designed for hacking systems. Not people, but he didn't hesitate. He pressed it against the back of Velle's neck. She screamed and then fell completely. Silent. Rain knelt beside her. Her body was still. Was she alive? Had he stopped the takeover or killed her? Then her eyes opened. Clear. Free. You're insane, she whispered. You're welcome. Rain smiled. The council's voice turned into rage. You dare corrupt our design? Rain stood, lifting the helix. We're not corrupting anything, he said. We're rewriting it. He slammed the helix into the core node. The room flashed white. The ship screamed. I systems crashed. Lights blinked. Turrets shut down. The helix was working, spreading through the ship like wildfire. The council's last act was a desperate self-destruct. If we die, they roared, we take you with us. Rain turned to Vale. Evac. She shook her head. No time, but there's a way. The override room, manual, deep below the engine. They ran. As Soul's End began to implode, Rain and Vale sprinted through collapsing tunnels. Leaping over flames and falling debris, soldiers screamed. Behind them, some didn't make it. Alarms roared. Finally, they reached the override. Vale slammed her hand on the panel. System lockdown confirmed, the voice said. Explosion sequence paused, but the damage was done. Escape pods were gone. The ship was dead in space. They were trapped out in a quiet corner of the broken control room. Rain and Vale sat side by side. The stars burned outside the shattered window. We did it, Rain said. Vale nodded. But we can't leave. No. Silence. Then she said, at least Earth lives. Rain looked at her. I think I loved you long before I knew what that meant. She smiled, a soft, tired smile. I think I learned how to feel because you never stopped seeing me as more than a weapon. They held hands and waited. But Earth wasn't done with them yet. Hours later, a single rebel Renari ship, ignoring protocol, ignoring orders, punched through the wreckage field. Inside, a pilot who refused to leave her commander behind. They found them both, barely breathing but alive. Months passed. Soul's End was dismantled. The war ended not with fire but with a story. A story told across systems. Of a human who chose to save his enemy, and of an alien warrior who chose to fight for something more than orders. Rain Carter became Earth's first ambassador to the stars. Vale became the first non-human general of the United Galactic Accord. Together, they didn't just end the war, they began something new, a future.